All right, Racelogic World, we're live tonight. We got Mr. Matt Henderson, fresh off a big win. Matt, appreciate you having you on tonight.
Man, it's good to be on.
We'll get started. Man, what a weekend, what a couple of weeks. I want to get you on because I know we got a lot of viewers kind of want to know what's been going on here the last few weeks. A couple of big wins, probably the biggest wins in crate racing. Tell everybody a little bit about your wins and where you was at and all them things so we can catch everybody up to date.
Well, this weekend before this last weekend, we went to the King of the Crates in North Alabama. It's North Alabama Speedway, Tuscumbia, Alabama, and we set fast time and led every lap both nights and won both of those. And then this past weekend was the uh, Chevrolet Performance World Championship, and we went down there in Cochran, Georgia. And we were able to set fast time there and lost our heat race. We ran second, and so that put us starting fifth in the feature. So we ended up uh, being fifth and rolling off fifth and uh, coming up through there. We ran third for the majority of the feature, and then sorry, I saw somebody walk around my truck. And then there at the end, we were able to pick off the top two and go on to win.
Yeah, I seen. I would say this race this weekend is like the Eldora of crate racing. Would that be a good statement, or Super Nationals, or whatever you want to call it?
It probably that would be probably the closest comparison. I mean, everybody that's good that was in crates was there. So it's probably that would probably be a fair statement.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the race live, but I know you was in third there. I think about lap 54. I figured you had something for them there at the end, and looked like you drove around them on a restart, and I think you checked out about 3.5 seconds, lead
Well,
there.
yeah, we just maintained pace with the top two. They were running a pretty good pace, and we set up for the end, and we went with a different tire than everybody else, and just to make plan for the end of the show. So everything we did, we had a purpose. Chip and I discussed and come up with a game plan, and I just stuck to the plan the whole feature. And when it was time to go, we went and was able to pull away. It was really really cool how it just played out the way we imagined it would, and it was kind of a fairy tale deal.
Yeah, is that about what win 14 or 15 this year? I believe.
It's yeah, it's win number 13 for the season.
Yeah, and I know you don't necessarily race every weekend, so that's probably about 50% win percentage. I'm assuming somewhere in that area.
39%.
39.
39%. Yep, I saw that on a story earlier. We've got
Well,
33 starts and 13 wins.
I know coming up here next weekend, I'm going to get to attend that one. You're going to be down in Louisiana at Chatham Speedway for 50,000 to win. So another big race coming up here late in the year.
Yeah, we're real excited about that one. I found out about it a little late. They were already planning everything for that one, but it's 50,000 wins, the Super B 100. Hoping they're going to make it an inaugural event this time and then continue and make it a tradition. Talked to those guys today actually, and they've got some really cool things they're doing. So we're real excited to get down there.
Yeah, that'll be another big one, here late in the year. And then it kind of, you just got a few scattered after that, I'm assuming, rest of the year.
We're going to a memorial race in Florida for 26,000. We're going. There's a couple of 10,000s after that, and another 20. So we're gonna have several big shows we're gonna attend. But the year's kind of winding down for us.
Yeah. Matt, I've had a lot of questions and kind of want to get you on to talk about the upcoming class this year. It's I kind of met you, I think, year before last, and we got to talking. And we talked about it before. That the crate world needed, needed Racelogic somehow in it, and so we come up with a plan and got you and Chip involved. And I think we talked about it earlier today. People don't realize, we got Robbie Bilbrey, which he builds your shocks for you. He'll be in the house. And in the back of your truck right now is your crate motor they tore into pieces that you're taking back to Hendron, and he'll also be there. So, and then Dave Hammond, I know you use a lot of his products, and then, AFCO and Ben. So just most people that circles your camp is going to be there for this class this year, and that's big.
Well, everybody involved in the instructor side of things, everyone involved is part of our program, and we communicate all year long about the racing as well as the class and things we're bringing to the class. We're bringing new technology this year, things that we've learned throughout the year. It is good because we're a team year round, not just on 2 days a year. So it brings a chemistry to the class as well.
Yeah, and for anybody out there that's wondering, kind of tell guys what you're going to cover, what types of crates. I know there's different ones in different parts of the country. So can you kind of give everybody an idea of what type of cars and some of the areas that you really want to highlight this year?
Well, we're gonna cover any late model. We're targeting crate late models because it's a void that we felt like we could benefit the guys, the racers. But we'll cover anything from a 602 late model to 604s, 525s, and limited late models, all the way to super late models. You can benefit from this in any late model class. From a 4-bar standpoint, any car that takes a 4-bar, you'll benefit from the class. We'll go through front end settings, maintenance, tires, race day adjustments, what we look for in our race cars. We go through every aspect, and it goes from a guy that just started is going to get information all the way through, and a guy that's raced 15 years, he's going to be able to pick up and go. It's going to benefit everyone. It doesn't have to be someone that's not ever raced. Last year I had guys come to the class, and these are guys that I have to personally beat. Like when they roll into the racetrack, I know I'm going to have to race those guys. They win races that I want to win. So those guys benefited from it. One of them being Monty Skinner. Monty's a fantastic racer, a good friend of mine, but he's a fantastic racer, wins a lot of races in Mississippi and Southern Alabama, just about wherever he goes, he's threatened to win. He came and can tell you this class paid for itself in just the things you pick up on.
Yeah, that's what I took away. And there, we still have people buying the online version from last year, even now, that couldn't attend. And we're gonna. Last year was kind of a little bit of a learning process for both of us. And we had it full, and then all of a sudden we had 8 or 10 people show up at the door that wanted to get in, and we're going to try to eliminate that this year. You still with me, Matt? Give Matt just a minute to jump back on. I think we lost him there for a second.
Am I back? There
yeah, you're back.
Hold on just a second. All right.
But yeah, last year I was saying, Matt, that we kind of, we sold it out, and then we had some showed up out of the blue that wanted in, and we're going to try to keep from doing that this year. So, we're definitely going to have a cutoff, and we're going to be a hard cutoff, so, people that's interested, I hate to keep beating this same drum, but it's going to sell out, and it's going to sell out sooner than later. I mean, I don't know exact head count now, but we're probably 25, 30% right now capacity. So, I tell everybody, listen, if you want to go and you don't have the money now, message me, call me. I want people there who want to be there and learn. And I understand money's tight and things, people still racing, but, I'll work with you if you're serious about going. So, if you want to go and you do and you're listening, then, send me a message and say, hey, Brian, I want to go, but, I can't pay for a little while. I'll save you a seat for a while. I mean, I want people there that want to be there. I want to work with people. So, I mean, it's going to sell out. And, as season winds down, we're going to get more and more people. So we definitely, I would definitely get enrolled sooner than later. And you can do that on racelogic.vip. And once again, Kate Dillon will be back, and she will video it, the live portion, and then we'll have it uploaded again next year. So, shout out to Kate. She does a lot of stuff for me that people don't realize behind the scenes, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. She's awesome to be able to video these, and she does all the editing and then puts it up online, because I do realize there's some people that can't attend. Last year there was some states that were locked down and they couldn't come, and hopefully this year it won't be like that. But we're going to have it at the same place again. Am I right? Same shop and everything we had it last year. Yeah.
Everything worked out great for that class last year, and we got a great shop that kind of gives us a way to do this, no restrictions. No matter what's going on, we're able to have our class. We're going to bring some new technology, like I said, this year. Some better ways to illustrate what we're talking about as the night goes on. So, we're doing it. Like you said, same place. It's going to be a good deal.
Yeah, and then we'll definitely have Chip back. Hopefully he has a little bit more rest this time. And the guy works about 24/7, and we was just kind of proud to have him last year and his first one to do it. So he didn't really know what to expect, but done a great job, and he'll be back with us again. It's only 10 15 miles from his shop or something like that. It's not far, so it's right in his back.
Not even. Yeah. It's about 6 minutes from the shop.
So Chip will be there, and then we were talking, and we'll put it out a little later. Maybe a couple more special guests that'll be in the house. And I know we're still working on a lot of the giveaway stuff. That's something we'll put out when you slow down racing a little bit. I know AFCO's back on board. I'm sure Dean with Dirt Car Lift will be back on board with some stuff. And people don't understand that we probably gave away. Everybody who was there left with something last year. And we plan on doing that and even more this year.
To the best of my knowledge, everyone that went left with enough product of some kind to cover the cost. And it's not crap you're just going to not use. It's things you're going to need to race that next year, and you leave with the means to get it, or get a discount towards it. So, I know we're going to have new companies involved that will do giveaways, and we're going to also have some of the same ones also.
Right. And I'm working on a few things. Usually Fast Shaft does some stuff, and there's some other guys that I'm going to get with. And anybody out there that's listening that wants to be involved in this, the only thing I ask is we're going to give something back to the racer. I don't want money. I don't want anything. If you want to give cash, I'll give it away. But that's something that I always try to do every year. It's kind of my way of giving back to that racer a little bit, with some some products and gift certificates and different things. And like I said, we'll have a couple other, maybe one or two special guests in the building, but we'll put that out a little bit later once we get that nailed down, because I know there's some things that you're working on that may kind of we may add some other knowledge to there. But it's going to be on the same weekend as it was last year, and we'll start at 8:00 sharp on Saturday. We usually end at 5. And I'm sure, again, this year, Matt, we hadn't really talked about it, but Friday night, I'm sure we'll do kind of a meet and greet like we did last year, just kind of let guys know where the shop is, and, kind of meet all you guys. And then we'll get rolling first thing Saturday, 8 to 5. We will serve lunch again of some kind. That'll be all part of the class. And then Sunday, usually 8 till about 2, somewhere in that range. I hate to do a definite cutoff because we want to make sure we get everybody's questions answered, but somewhere between 8 and 2. And then, I know you guys, if you need to stay later, you always have to answer any questions. But, I think some misconception is that some of these classes, they don't give out good information. And I'm telling you right now, if you leave there and don't learn anything, I'll give your money back to you, because the info's there. I mean, me and you talked from day one. I said, Matt, the only thing I ask, if you're not willing to give out good information on things that you're doing, then I don't want to do this class. And I think you'll agree that conversation we had.
Yeah. I mean, you want real information that's going to benefit the racers, not things from 10 years ago. And and we try not to keep any secrets, man. I mean, we go by the book. We have a book that we go by, and everyone gets a copy of that book. So, and that's for you to keep and take notes and really digest that information. But a lot of the class is driven by good questions. Last year we had a great group of people that asked the right questions, and it helped us get in depth to what those racers were needing. And everyone in the class needed the information that was asked. So when you do come, it's an interactive deal, and if you need to go another avenue and want to know something, we have microphones we throw around and hand out to everybody, and we get your questions heard. We don't have a real hard cutoff time on Sunday, but Sunday after we get through what we feel like is the majority of the information, we have a huge question session where we try to answer everybody's questions. So we make sure everybody's voice is heard in the deal, and just try to get them the information they need.
Yeah, and I think that's important. That's why I like to get you guys on because, like I said, I've been doing this long enough, going on 27 years that, some people say, oh, they're just going to give you the basics. Well, I totally disagree with that. If all you're going to give us the basics, we're not going to do another one, And that's something we talked about from day one. And not everybody in racing, especially somebody like you that's won every big race there is, and not only won them, but dominated them, willing to give back that info. That's important. I mean, that's why I still do the street stock class with Justin. I know you and Justin McCree are good friends too. You drove a little for him. And, he's another guy too that has gave out probably more information than he ever should have. And I know you sat through one of them classes before, helped us with some stuff. And, so, both of them classes is just something that we try to, help that Saturday night racer or maybe even a guy that runs big races like you. I mean, we've got guys that's already paid for the class from, I think, West Virginia and, maybe even over in Illinois or Kentucky and all down south. So, we get guys from everywhere that come into these deals and they spend a lot of money. I mean, it's not cheap, but there is a discount. You can find it on the website to the Hampton Inn there in Lenore City. The rooms are pretty reasonable. And then, like I said, food will be provided Saturday. And, it's a good time. Friday night, like I said, we try to get together. Shoot, Saturday night last year, I think we stayed and watched the Chili Bowl or something, I believe, or Florida. I think it was Florida.
No, it was we watched a friend of mine, Matt McCarter, at Volusia, and we were flipping back and forth from the Chili Bowl to Volusia.
Yeah. So, we try to make it a good time, a big family deal. It ain't, and then we'll get serious all day on Saturday and try to get everybody involved. And I'm just telling you, you was talking earlier that Hendrens won every race over $10,000, I believe, in the crate world. And to have Steve there was huge, and he'll be back along with Kate. And I just got off the phone with Dave Hammond a little while earlier, and he's excited to be back. That guy's his wheels are always spinning on some kind of new something to help your race car. And Ben Baker, it don't matter if you're talking about a damn drag car or speedboat or dirt late model. I mean, he knows something about everything. So I just don't think there's a better class in America. I mean, there's other ones that try to do it. There's other ones that try to lure you into doing them, but I'm proud to be that you stuck with me. Something we talked about earlier, loyalty, and I'm proud to have you back again this year, and it's going to be a good deal, and I think guys can learn a lot from this and make their program better.
Yeah, and it's not a 2-day deal. I've got great students from last year that messaged me about their program, weekly. Bradley Goodman's the one that comes to mind. The guy's been a pretty good superstar this year in his own class. He was in what they called a B sportsman here, which is a beginner sportsman, and he won so much that they made him move up to a bigger class. So that was, that's one of the students that come to mind. Just, it's not a one and done. We don't just do what we're going to do for those 2 days and okay, we're leaving you on an island. If you need any of your instructors or have a question, we answer that year round. That's just part of the deal. That's the cost of admission. So, you're always going to have us to fall back on.
Yeah. And so something that we started doing last year that I think is real important is we'll also, anybody who attends the class gets the online version for free. And so they can go back throughout the year. And I've had a lot of guys tell me, man, I didn't really understand whatever it was, and they went back and watched it. Now they understand it. So, not only do you get the live version, then you're going to get the online version as well once it's uploaded and online. So you can go back and watch it. And so, yeah, it's going to be a good time, Matt. Man, what a year you've had. Like you said, it's a dream season. And, I heard something. I heard Scott Bloomquist on the interview, and you'll probably agree with this. He was talking to Tony Stewart at Eldora, and he said, you made it when they're either booing for you or they're cheering for you, So I'm sure when you pull on the track, you're either, love or hated, just depends on what side of the fence you're on. But at the end of the day, they're talking about you, So, that's what you want. Not everybody's going to love you and not, but I know you got a big following, big fan base out in east part of the, country. And I'm like I said, I'm sure as much as you won, sometimes people don't like a winner, but they just need to step their game up a little bit and figure out, come to the class and figure out what you're doing. Something I wanted to throw out, I know you don't know for sure, but we will have, I'm assuming a new CVR of some kind, whether it's your car or somebody else's in the building during the class.
We'll definitely have a CVR there, a new CVR there. May bring the house car. I don't know. Whatever's convenient at the time. I'm not going to say which car it'll be because I'm not going to commit to that. But we'll have a brand new CVR there, 2022 car. It'll either be a customer's that we're coming to completion on at the time, or I'll have a house car there. One of the house cars will be there. But
okay.
I think that helped us last year because we could go through what we're checking on the front end, the suspension on the back, what bar angles we're looking at. There's a lot of things we use that for. It's not just a prop to look at. I mean, it was actually a useful tool for the class. And when you were talking about the online version, if you have a question and it's something you didn't take good notes on, but you remember we discussed, it's categorized by that. So if you want to know caster camber, camber gain, whatever the case may be, whatever you're needing to work on for your program at the time, that category is there. And you roll back to it, click on that, and you start it there. You can get the information you're needing at the time, and you've got that tool at your disposal for the year. So, people really have been using that. Even the guys that are buying it right now, they're asking me, hey, is there any way to get that online? Yeah, you can get last year's, and I send them the link. And that's been a tool for about everybody.
Yeah, and a couple other things. I know you'll have a spring smasher of some kind there, and a lot of other tools. I mean, and something we do that's pretty unique the last couple of years is we'll set up a camera, and then I've got 2 big screen TVs. So whatever you're showing on the front end will be displayed in the front of the room on 2 big screens. So you'll actually, if you're sitting in the back of the room, you'll be able to see exactly what you're talking about on the car too. So that's something that we started doing that's really changed the game a lot for, and we're going like I said, I'm going to say it one more time before we jump off is we are going to cut it off this year at a certain number. And, once that's done, it's done. So if you don't have the money right now and you're serious about going, I'm probably not the smartest guy on earth, but I want to work with people who want to be there. So if you want to go and you're saying, Brian, hey, I can't pay for a month or 3 weeks. I had a guy messaging me earlier about the street stock class. He's been to 2 or 3 of them. He said, hey, I don't have all the money right now. I said, don't worry, I got you covered. I want people that want to be there. So, get with me and let me know, hey, I'm coming, but my funds a little short now at the end of the season, and we'll work with you. But we are going to have a hard cutoff, and we're going to get, we want the right amount of people in there where everybody can learn, and we're going to try to get all we can get in without having too many. And it's going to be a good time again, and right in your back door so you can sleep in your own bed. It's only about a 10-hour drive for me, but, we'll be
on that one.
Do what now?
I said I suckered you on that one.
You did sucker me on a 10-hour drive. I drove all night to get there. And then my buddy Robert that brings my trailer and everything, he's going to leave there and drive on to North Carolina the following weekend for the street stock class, and then I'll just fly up there on a Friday. So I got a couple of big weekends back to back. But this is something that ain't like anything else in the country. So if you're in a crate car, and that's probably the fastest growing class in America right now, I would say. I think it rivals any of the IMCA stock car stuff and a lot of other stuff you guys don't see a lot of. So, you better get your name in a hat, because if you go there and you feel like you didn't get your money's worth, I'll hand you your money on the way back out the door. I don't say that a lot, but I'm have strong enough feelings about this class that if you didn't get your money's worth, I'll hand you your money on your way out the door, because I believe in it that much. So, we want to try to get everybody there and want to learn and be faster and more competitive. And I know that's what you set out to do from last year. We talked about it, this being a long-term deal. And, we kind of roped Chip into it because it's not his forte, I think. But, man, he done a great job last year. Now he's got a year under his belt. I think he'll even be even better this year.
I think he's really looking forward to it. He's part of the reason I'm saying we're bringing new technology, because there's things that are evolving in the racing world, things we've learned throughout this season, things that's made us faster, and we're bringing that to the class. So there's it's going to be better this year than ever, and hopefully, as long as we're doing these, I can say that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and some people probably think, and I'm sure you thought the same thing. People probably think you're crazy because you'll have either your house car or an actual 2022 car there, and you give out all the information. But at the end of the night, you told me you started where a lot of these guys were, and you didn't know a 4-bar car from a 3-link car, and so you had to learn. And then so being able to give back to these guys and help them get up to speed, it makes the racing better, less tore up cars. You see guys throughout the year that winning races that never won before, or they won a heat race, and that makes it all worth it in the end. There's got to be more satisfaction. Winning that big trophy this weekend is a big deal. I realize that 20,000 is big, but I think being able to help a guy get faster is a big deal too.
When I first started, man, I was horrible. I wasn't even semi-talented, okay? So I was horrible. Well, you had a guy named Dwayne Hommel who was winning everything he went to. And he came and helped me and gave me some information that changed the way I thought about race cars. And we got to work, and got faster immediately. And I've not always been the fastest, but I've always done fair, and I've always tried to remember him giving me information and helping me. So I've always tried helping those that are needing the help at the time. So when you and I talked and you told me, look, it's got to be real, it's got to be true information, that sunk in with me on what I wanted to do to help people. And that's what the class is about. It's what we're doing to make these race cars fast right now. You're not going to get information that is old and outdated. This is true information from today's time. What's evolved in the sport since the last class, we bring you up to date this year, and you'll be up to date to the point of what I'm rolling out on in 2022.
Right, and the same way with Robbie and the rest of the guys. I talk to him pretty regular. There ain't nobody any smarter in the shock world, I think, than Robbie Bilbrey. If you hadn't been around him just a little bit, you'll figure out that the guy's, very sharp. And Dave Ham and the rest of them that are on board, I've had a lot of other people want to be involved in these, and there's a reason I choose who I choose, because I feel like they're the best and they want to give out good information. So it's going to be a great time. Matt, I know you got to get back on the road and take that motor that's in 1,000 pieces from So if anybody wonders, do they check anything at these big crate races? Well, if he probably got out with his phone, his motor's in back of his truck in pieces, and now he's got to take it back to Steve and say, here you go, Steve, put this thing back where it'll run again. And
man,
what Steve
all my
tell you?
suspension.
Do what now?
They took all my suspension apart. They checked all my electronics. They checked the car, every piece of it. Then they take the motor out and they take it apart, cranks out of it, cams out of it. Well, the crank's actually still in it, but the rod and piston's out of it, cams out of it, both heads are off. they didn't leave anything to chance. They made sure that my stuff was right when I left there. So you know, Hendron, that's the only place I would do business with in this market, and that's not me trying to sell it. I've been other places, and you don't get treated the way that you do when you deal with Hendron. You get the best every time. There's no preference on motors because I've been places where if you are not someone that they think is going to go out here and contend for these big wins, you get whatever's good enough. And there is no good enough in Hendron. It's all the best he can make it at the time.
Yeah, I think you said something earlier that as busy as he is now, you won the biggest race of the year, and you're going to haul the motor back to him in pieces, and and even make him a little bit more busy. So, it's good, get him away for a weekend. And, I know the crate deal is, you're looking for every horsepower you can get and all. And, man, he tells it all too. I mean, that's a huge addition to what we were doing last year. I know with Steve, talking about.
What's awesome about him, he has an in-house chassis dyno. So when the latest gimmick comes out, he puts it on chassis dyno. And if it's just smoke, he calls it what it is. That's just the way it is. That didn't make a bit of difference on the chassis dyno, and it's not going to help you on the racetrack. You get that information real time. This is what we did.
Right. Well, Matt, we're going to jump off here. We look like we had a lot of viewers on tonight, and I appreciate it. And we'll let you get on back down the road to North Carolina to drop that motor off and get ready for Louisiana coming up here in a couple weeks. And I'll get to come down and watch you then. And we'll get back on here again another month or two. And once we get the list of the giveaways and stuff, we'll kind of announce all that stuff. And if anybody wants to jump on board, they're welcome to reach out to me or you, and that can be a part of this too.
Okay, man, that sounds great. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and look forward to seeing everybody in January.
All right, Matt. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you.
Thank you, man.
All right, man.